What is going on, guys? And tonight we are back in the mix. Got part 2 here with our mystery anonymous player here. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1. Again, questions, comments, feedbacks, put them below. And we will jump, I think, right into it. So now we're playing some Limit Omaha 8 or better. Let us go. Oh, I thought we were big one. And we'll skip the next one. There we go. Okay, Ace King 6-6 double suited. This is actually a sneaky strong hand, I would say. So again, I think this is a 5-bet game. We're not folding this combo. Calling is kind of like whatever. I think it's probably fine. 4-betting is an option here too. I don't think we lead. I think actually checking and then maybe going for the check raise here to try to get it heads up is a play that I would consider going for. I don't think now if it goes like bet raise, it's a little bit different. But if this, and our player now here checks in position. So once this player here checks in position, they still could have some like ace fours, ace fives. I think it's very possible. But at the same time too, I think your hand is just a hand that probably wants to bet. And if they do pair in this situation, like have like live ace draws or some flush draws, you want to charge them. But our hand actually has some ability to scoop in this situation. So I think betting in this spot is probably best now once they check. The only hand, the hand I'm really worried about more often than not is here, just because on these board textures, it usually still goes check, check to the 3-better. So they're still, like, their range necessarily isn't defined here as well. They should have some leads, but I think more often than not, they go for like a check, check raise. Pretty bad river, obviously, when the hearts run out. I don't think we bet the river because I think like still sometimes we just run into ace 4, ace 5, 4, 5 is possible. Obviously we don't have hearts, so I think like going for a check call here for 1 bet is probably your best bet. I like the check, and it checks through. And surprised to see this hand. This hand is not an open from that position, but again, I don't really know the stakes or the players, so it's okay. And then the ace check 5-7. I think the ace 5 here is actually close to a bet here in position when it goes check check on that river. But I can understand why the player checks. They have like no high, so they're just kind of hoping they have. And you do get scooped, but I still like the turn bet. All right, ace queen 4-5 small blind. It's going to be a 3-bet for sure. And we're just going to open it because no one gave you the action you wanted. Yeah, I mean, flop 3 pair, we're just going to go ahead and bet. Like, super strong board for your hand. Just no low. Because obviously, since you block all the high cards, it's just so likely that your opponent has a low draw here. Yeah, this player played this hand totally fine. Obviously, when if the ace comes there on the turn without the diamond draw, I think it's a little bit closer, but my guess is with the wheel draw and the fact that he has a pair of deuces, and it's probably still call. But yeah, there's not much to do. Yeah, I think you guys just both played it fine. Ace 8 queen queen. Now this is a hand that if we decide to play, we want to try to get this hand heads up. If it does go like call, then we can probably just call in position. It's fine. But if folded to you, we definitely want to 3-bet to try. Now this is a hand. Okay, so now your hand goes up in value. This, in my mind, is a 4-bet. Again, if the ranges are somewhat correct in this situation, like the queens here go way up in value. You have a suited ace, you're in position, you're on the button. I think this is just a clear 4-bet. Okay, we do fold. We do flop. We would have flopped middle set. And let's speed up a little bit. So it looked like it did go bet call. And then on the river here, my guess is like if anyone bets into you, if we had queens full here, we're still supposed to be raising. But it would have been interesting how the hand played out. So it's kind of a theoretical question. And do get called. So yeah, player turn in 8 in this situation. I mean, if this player is 3-betting this hand, this is the easiest 4-bet in the history of poker. So this hand is, I mean, yeah, this hand is really, really bad. So not too much to say. Except, yeah, this hand just becomes like a super easy 4-bet. And our hand, I believe, is a 4-bet even against like players who are playing like somewhat correct ranges. Queen Jack 9-10 here. It's just, if it goes raise, if it goes like raise call, we can probably call. If it goes raise raise, we can probably call. But against a, I would say, well-known defined range here, like this hand just becomes a super easy fold. So good fold. Just keep kind of going. Next one. All right, Badusi, 75432. Yeah, we must be playing fun mix if this is the case. So 75432 is the best low hand. 5432 is the best Badugi. All right, you do not have the Badugi here, but you do have 743. So let's play this one out. This player here raises under the gun. Call, call. I mean, not much really here to do. Just call with 3-4-7 and draw 2. It looks like we have the 8 Badugi, but we do not. Okay, so I think I understand why you make this play. One, you have blockers. Two, there's multiple players in this hand. I will say this. From my experience, because I can see the avatars, I know this player probably has a pretty, I would say, snug range here, and this player definitely has a snug range here. So 3-betting this hand out of position here, I think, is a little bit too loose. I would just go ahead and call out of position here and just draw 2. I don't necessarily think we're pushing too much equity. And again, we got to play out of position. So I think this is just a little bit too loose. But I think I understand definitely why you do it. All right, we make the Badugi, but okay, so it went 1, 3, and 2. Now, if these players have like 3 over here occasionally, like on a very high frequency, I actually like your 3-bet. But I just know like this range and this range are relatively tight. So we do make a double Badugi, but it doesn't mean anything. So we're just going to go ahead and check call break. Was it the 4 diamonds I think we saw? No, I think it was, no, yeah, it was a 4 diamonds we saw. And now this hand's pat, so this is, I would say, pretty bad news for us. We need to catch a deuce or improve pretty fast, and that's not it. We're just going to go ahead and check fold. In a 0-2-1 spot. And I would expect this range, honestly, I expect this hand to have a fair bit of strong Badugis here too. I don't like this play. I think this is extremely optimistic. And even if we make a 7 Badugi in this situation, like the pot's big, yes, I totally understand it. But even if we make a 7 Badugi in the spot, I think we're kind of frozen. I don't necessarily think we can like go for a check raise. I mean, we basically have to make a super strong hand, and I mean, we basically are just like in pure check call mode. Not to mention, you know, just based on card removal, like it's just very unlikely that our cards are even like live at this point. Yeah, and we just go ahead and our hand is just going to be a give up anyways. I would, yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't fold. I mean, I know I want to fold, but I think it's just good. Whatchamacallit, not manners, you know what I mean? Etiquette to just go ahead and check. But yeah, I mean, we're in bad shape. 6 Badugi, 7 low over here. So, and then, you know, player on the button over here did have, I think a 3-card 7, a 3-card 6 with a 7 draw. So again, you know, another strong draw over there. Strong-ish draw. And 3-4-8 if folded 2 on the button here. We're gonna go ahead and, or sorry, on the small blind we'd open. This is good open. No problem with this. And we're gonna muck this one here, 8-8, even though we have 2 pair. So speed up just a little bit. All right, now we are in Badugi. Looks like looks like we just folded a few hands. I fold. I don't draw 3. So this is fine. Especially again, like this player here in this position probably has a stronger range than most. 6, 7, 9, probably fine to just fold out of position. Even with the extra blocker. What do we got? 2, 7, 10. Yeah, this seems fine. 3-card 9, I think, is probably an open here on the button, believe it or not. But 3-card 10 is probably a fold. I mean, when you start getting into some of your 3-card 10s, actually, like depending on what the 3-card 10 is, usually you're just drawing 2 anyways. 5, 8, 10 in the cutoff here. Fold. Kind of an uninteresting round of a dookie. All right, now we're studying it better. All right, so let's see here. Let's see the dead cards. Bunch of low cards in this spot, so I'm gonna take notice if you can. 3 ace, 3 6, 2 diamonds. Now the ace raises here in this position. And I do a little bit of mixing depending on like what the ranges look like. I would say that seeing that our opponent, I haven't been keeping too many tabs, but seeing that our opponent there had the jack 3 6 in Omaha, for a 3-bet, I would probably go ahead and, if I'm going to play this hand, just go ahead and 2-bet, try to get heads up and play after the dead money. Like, you're never going to be in that bad of shape. But I do a fair bit of limping here as well. I mean, but I think with the ace in our hand, I think like go ahead with the 2-bet is probably a little bit better. We catch kind of a sneaky okay card for our hand, but it's not like necessarily great. But since this person's going to bet 100% here, I think we just go ahead and call. If this person caught like like another low card here, I would consider just giving my hand up, because if we could jam, that's in a really bad spot. But my guess is like they bet. I think we're just going to call one with kind of some backdoors here and ace high. Not too much to do here. I think we'll probably just check fold, even though they caught a brick, but this player over here improved and they did call, so this card more likely helps them out. Not, yeah, I think this fold's fine. Would have continued with this hand, most likely, no matter what it was, just because there's also like dead money in there too, but okay. Yeah, 3 6. I think this hand's a fold. Let's go to the next one. King 9 6. We're not playing here. All right, ace deuce 5. We are definitely playing this one. Just looking at the dead cards real quick. This is probably a hand. If the jack opens in first position here, I'm not necessarily 2-betting 100%, because there's arguments to be played again, to be made, because like the pair of jacks in the situation, if they're opening a pair of jacks in the situation, they have they are technically a favorite. They're an equity favorite against you. With that being said, you have a hand that generates fold equity on later streets just by how your board tends to run out. So if you like start catching low cards pretty quick, they can't just continue with one pair, because like the reverse implied odd are really bad. Plus there's an extra big street. So I would say that I'm just kind of like making hypothetical here, whether we're like always 2-betting. But like if it folds to the queen and the queen opens here, like I'm almost always going for a 2-bet, especially with an ace in my hand, because I think this is just way too much. Even here against like an 8 open, again, I'm making like more of a player read, because again, I think this player is pretty snug, so I think like this is a legitimate hand. But we have a very strong hand here against what can still be a relatively wide range, against a like even a wide playable range, I would say. So I still am going to go ahead, I think, and 3-bet in this situation. This is good. Call. Yeah, I mean, we catch a little bit better, so we go ahead and bet. Now it's a little bit tricky, to be completely honest here, because like these type of cards are actually quite good for this opening range, because it's not like this player here in this position has I would say a ton of bricks. So the 6-7 is pretty significant. You do block 1-5, but there's also like not a lot of like dead cards. I'm probably, let's see, what's the price? So 6.92. So we'll just round it to 7, say 9. You're getting 4.5 to 1. It's probably okay to peel once. I think. The other reason being is like if they brick and you catch good, you can still check in position. So it's not like you're going to be facing bet the whole way down. The board can realistically change here, and if the board realistically changes, I think we can like sometimes it just goes check. So I think calling here is actually okay. Make 5s and deuces, and they make an ace behind us. So I actually think in this situation, like now that we have 2 5s and we have an ace, I think unfortunately we're probably just going to have to get our hand to showdown. Not much we can do. I'm obviously a little bit worried just based on the fact that I think this range is a little bit snugger, but we do get, yeah, we do hold on the 2 pair, which is good. But yeah, it looks like this player started with ace 3. So we split. And yeah, you're not playing ace king jack. Probably would have just stolen, attempted to steal there if folded to, but it's gonna go the next one. All right, deuce 7 triple draw. You know, I still think this is a fold for what it's worth, but you know, when you block a lot of these cards like this, from the cutoff, I probably would have opened this hand. Just the fact that you have a lot of blockers. I still think folding in this position is fine, but when you have a ton of blockers like this, I think it just makes me want to play the hand even more. A couple less hands, just a little more card debt right now. First video we were getting hand after hand. Looks like button open. We folded. Yeah, 3-5. I mean, probably would 2 wheel cards. I might be opening. I might be folding. Flip a coin. It's probably really close. Out of position. Depends on how your players will honestly play. Any deuce. I mean, most likely any deuce with like any sort of any other card I'm playing. Same thing here. I think this is a little bit too loose. I tend to not open. I tend to not open 3 from the cutoff without significant blockers. I think 1 extra 7 is not necessarily a significant blocker. You can make the argument like deuce 7 is, but I tend to not open 3 from the cutoff. So in my opinion, I think this is probably a little bit too loose. Okay, so we've seen a 7. We pair an extra deuce. It goes to 3. And it goes check. And yeah, I think like checking here is fine. Like we have some blockers in position here, but I think we can use that to our advantage on a later street. I don't necessarily think we just bet in position here. It goes 2-2, plus our opponent here could theoretically have a check raise or 2. Now you see 3 deuces, a 7, 2 sixes. Like I think your hand is just the perfect snow. I mean, not much really else to do. Yeah, like just bet and take it most of the time, it feels like. Just go ahead and pat your hand. Hopefully the bluff works. If they bet into you, I'm probably turning my hand into a bluff, yes. Just because I've seen 3 deuces and a 7 and a 6 and everything else in between. Yep, and you get another snow through, which was nice. 2, 6, 7 under the gun. We're going to play 5-handed. Note that we have the 9. Goes 2, 2, and 2. We've seen 2 9s now. And a jack. But nothing too much yet that we need to. Just 2 9s I would say is obviously the most important part. Do you catch a 3? Goes 1, 2, 1. Notice here this player didn't bet, so I don't think that necessarily means too much. Maybe at low stakes it means they probably have a weakest draw, but in high stakes they should be doing a fair bit of checking here. And then like, yeah, obviously in this spot, I think the most important thing now is like, does this player pat or not? They do pat. Well, it's not going to matter here because you make number 2. But if they do pat and you haven't seen a 9, I mean, obviously like there's a lot more 9s that they can have in their range, but when they don't, it makes it more likely like they're kind of like polar. In a 1-1-0 spot, I think I'm probably just going to go ahead and go for the bet. I think players in general are just less likely to value bet thinner when they have rough 8s in a even if they're in position in a 1-1 spot. When 2 players in front of them take 1-1, that's I would say my my understanding of it. But yeah, I mean, you definitely got to attempt to go for a check raise here sooner or later. So, we're definitely going to get it. You definitely have a good hand to do it with because you can call a 3-bet. Like I think some people who attempt to check raise sometimes, like they do it a little bit rough because they don't necessarily want to call a 3-bet. But your hand obviously definitely wants to call a 3-bet, and we 3-bet, which is call. And we do pip him, so obviously this is a good thing. And I don't think you like necessarily lose out on value. I think like again, I think players in some of these stakes are probably just like it's either number 1, number 2, number 3, possibly number 4. But when you go for that check raise, 3-handed, it's usually a pretty strong hand. So I don't think you miss any value there by just calling with number 2 for 3 bets. All Ace to 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, best hand. Aces play low, straights flushes don't count against you. All right, 7, 3, 5 in this situation here. If button opens, I'm probably just folding. If they fold, then I'm going to raise and draw 2 at the 7, 3, 5. But looks like they folded. Same kind of thing here, 4, 6, 7. If folded 2, I'm going to open, but against an open, I'm going to fold. All right. Next hand we have ace 10, 4, 5. Extra ace, 3 to a wheel. I like to keep the flush draws in this game just so I can take a picture and show a steel wheel. Interesting, this player takes 3. I didn't think they would do that unless maybe they have like 3 deuces or something like that. Like checking in positions good, and then in a 1-2 spot, if they bet, we just fold. Yeah, this is fine. This is good. Not much to do sometimes. I mean, we can't make a move necessarily at every single spot, but we didn't really have the blockers to do it with here. I think folding ace 7 in the small blind out of position is fine. Nothing there to play on this one. And then we're going to do 7 Raz next. Okay. Yep. Folding the ace king 10. Not much to do. Same with queen jack deuce. We might get through this video. Not that many hands this time. Not as many, not running as good. All right. 4, 5, 8 in this spot. This is going to be a playable hand. And we're going to definitely play this one. So 9, deuce, 4. If the deuce opens here, I'm still 2-betting 4, 5, 8, a 4-handed game. Yeah, I think raising's good. This is good. Call. Good check, yeah. And easy bet if check 2. And for everyone watching, just really quickly, in this situation, if you do call and you catch a queen against an ace, this queen should be betting. King versus ace is somewhat close. If this range is wider and this range is a little bit tighter. But queen versus an ace, I have to imagine like it's still a pretty clear bet. And then they fold tier, bet on 5th. Obviously another strong draw. That previous one was a strong draw. I am not going for the steal in this situation here, even though I have a deuce in my hand, just because I have 3 possibly playable hands behind me in the spot. So I think this would be a little bit too loose. As much as I love to play every hand in every stud game, because I can always justify my actions just by the fact that there's dead money in the pot. At least that's what I tell myself, and I tell my wife when I come home, losing 50 bets every night. All right, nothing to play here. King, queen, 8. And just not watching too much of the action, obviously, when we get through. Obviously, this is just kind of a spot between like, all right, who's gonna go after the money in this situation? And in this spot, like if this person opens and we have any playable hand, we're just I think we're always 2-betting. I don't think there's a spot where we're just not re-raising if we play. Obviously, we're free to wheel in this spot. So, and then we have a license to steal. We're just probably got 100% or close to it. If the players were super sticky and we had like 4 queen, queen, then I think we can make the argument for folding, but those players are few and far between. It's just too easy to go broke. All right, king, king, 3, 5 here, strong hand on the button. This is going to be a 3-bet versus anyone. Good 3-bet. To get called. And called. Yeah, this is still a relatively good flop for your hand. You have an overpair, you have a gut shot, and 3-5 low. So I still think betting is correct. Wish we had the backdoor or the flush draw. Pretty much one of the worst cards you could get for your hand right there. Because now you're counterfeit. So if check 2 on the button here, I don't think we continue. I think we just go ahead and check and try to hit something on the river. I think this is a little bit too optimistic. Again, the situations where like players are just, calling your raises. I think my guess is if you're betting in this situation, you're trying to get your kings to hold up. The problem is like we don't block a 6, which Again, makes it more possible that your opponents have some sort of straight. We don't block. We have a 3, but we have no aces in our hand either. So I think this bet is too optimistic. I would just go ahead and check and attempt to take any equity that I have in this hand. But I think betting here on the turn is just a spot where we're going to get. I don't think we're going to show any profit by betting on this turn, to be honest. Watch it go fold, and I'm just like, I'm going to eat my words. And we do get check raised. Okay. So yeah, now we just got nothing. We just got to give our hand up. And it goes full behind too. And I will say too, like, I think as well, if a player here has like 8-6 or 3-6, given the way that this action's gone, I think their most likely profitable play here is not to lead turn, because they turn their hand face up. It's probably to go for the check raise. So that's, I think, another reason why I would go ahead and just take any equity if I have it back. King 3-4-8 here, and the cutoff is a fold. Not much there. Go to the next one. E7-9-9 is probably a little bit too loose, but it's probably fine. It's like one of those spots where, like, if you're giving up money, you're giving up like tenths or hundredths of a big blind or something. It's not much. Jack 7-9-9. It's probably close to a call. It's probably fine to fold. It's a hard hand to play, no doubt, but I would say it's probably close to a call. Not like Jack 9-9 deuce is definitely a fold, but Jack 9-9-7, when all the cards are working in your favor, I'd say it's probably actually close to a call. Blind on blind, plus you're in position the whole hand, so that makes it a little bit more changes the dynamic a little bit. 10-4-7-8, we're just folding, I think. Even if it folded to us, the hand is just structured bad, plus it's rainbow. King, Queen, 3-9, we're never playing this one. All right, now we're Badusi. Yeah, so this was definitely fun mix. 7-5-4-3-2, 5-4-3-2 Badugi, best hand. We might actually get through this whole recording because you just can't pick up a hand right now. All right. So Badusi again, 6-7-8. We've seen 2 8s. I'm not defending here. I'm just folding my hand. One, it's just still a rough draw out of position, even though we've seen 2 8s. If I had 8-7-6 here, I would defend. Again, this range tends to be a little bit stronger too. So, and again, like 4 ways, I think this is just totally optimistic. It's just much more likely that if the players are calling in the spot, they just have the cards that you need with respect to like deuces and 3s. So, I'm just going to go ahead and give it up. And we do make an 8 Badugi right away. Plus, we've seen 2 8s, which is pretty beneficial for your hand. But I wanted to see the draw, so it goes 2-3-2-2. I think this is a spot you can consider leading if check to, if the small blind checks to you. You've seen 2 8s, and I mean, you probably just check your 100% too, for what it's worth. But honestly, I think had you not seen the 2 8s, just for some, let's just assume for a second, let's just throw it out here that you haven't seen 2 8s. I still think like your hand might be the best play for your hand might be in the situations to go ahead and check and then call and then draw 1, because now you keep some Badugis in your range that are a little bit rough, and you can kind of see how the hand develops depending on like what happens. Let's go like check, 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 bet. I mean, theoretically, if it goes bet and this person like calls or folds, now you could check raise. If this person bets and this person calls and this person calls, like you can still just check call and keep an 8 Badugi in your range. So I think because we've seen the 2 8s in this spot, I think like leading here is probably okay. Again, you kind of turn your hand over face up, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, it's like, all right, come and take it. Like you're pointing at the 8s here saying like, I've seen 3 8s. And I think that's probably the reason. And it goes 2-2-2-1. I mean, obviously you catch a deuce, which I mean somehow is live, which is crazy to me. But again, now the strength of your hand just went up a little bit more, just because yeah, we've seen the 3 8s. So we'll let this one play. It goes call call. As long as we don't get check raised, we're just gonna be betting this river. Let them think. And they do call and then draw 1. So I just want to say that we pat. Do draw 1. and it goes 1-1-1, and yeah, 8-8 in this situation with 2 dead 8s, this is probably too strong. Now, I don't know necessarily if you're going to scoop this hand, but you still got to bet this hand. Yeah. Yep. Hey guys, sorry. Actually, two of my kids just woke up, so I am gonna finish part 2 right here. Just as a quick note, again, I just wanted to point out, like, in general, this hand is, at the end of the hand, I just want to say that this hand is like super strong. You played this right. This is just more of a player-specific read. So we're going to, finish part 2 right here, and we'll come out with part 3. So again, if you guys like what you see, please like, subscribe. If you guys are looking to open a Phenom account, you can use the link below, or if you register, you can use the code LMG for Learn Mix Games. When you're registering, if you want to email me, send me a video, want to say hi, all the good stuff, you can do that, or coaching, etc. I do coaching as well. So yeah, until then, I appreciate the videos and the feedback and the comments. So good luck at the tables, play well. I will talk to all of you guys soon. Bye-bye.